Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new video. So today I'm going to be talking about what if Leon Rocky Edwards never landed that head kick on Kamaru Usman. Dejected. As we all know, at UFC 278 at Salt Lake City, Leon head kicked Usman in the last minute of the fifth and final round. So now I'm going to be talking about what if that head kick never happened? What if Usman slipped and dodged the head kick and the round just went all the way to the end? And obviously we know the winner would have been Usman because Usman basically dominated Leon throughout the whole round. So now, where do you think the UFC will be at today, and where would Usman be at today? So this is what my timeline would be. As we all know, in UFC 286, Leon and Usman did have the third match. So now I still have to keep the timeline in check. So I'm going to try to replace that matchup with Usman versus Bilal. A lot of people will be saying you could have done Usman versus Hamza. But if you go back to UFC 279, we both know Hamza Chimaev missed weight. Anyway, he came in as 178.5 pounds. And he had to be scrapped away from fighting Nate Diaz into fighting Kevin Holland in a catchweight fight. And we all know Hamza won the fight. And that's been Hamza's last match in the welterweight division. As we all know, Hamza is currently in the middleweight. So I don't think Hamza versus Usman at 286 would have made sense, because that's when Hamza even started getting a lot of hate, because he became on a lot of people saw him as unprofessional for doing what he did that day. So I would put Usman versus Bilal. As we all know, in 288 Bilal versus Burns did happen. So I'll just replace Bilal with Leon. I'll just say Leon versus Burns. Obviously, Prime Usman does destroy the hell out of Bilal. So now, skipping all the way to the end of the year of 2023, we had UFC 296. We had Leon versus Colby. So now, this is where I'm actually going to change the whole card. I believe Usman would have not even fought at 296. Because you have to remember, Usman has been very dominant. Looking at going back in time in the UFC, before Leon did kick Usman, Usman was considered to be one of the greatest welterweights on the planet. He was about to tie Anderson Silva's 16 fight streak. Now, for me, I'm saying if Usman beats Leon that night, he would have basically lapped the whole welterweight division. Because look at it, he beat Kobe twice, he beat Masvidal twice, now he beat Leon twice. And remember, he also has a win over Gilbert Burns. And let's say he did fight Bilal. Obviously, he would have beat Bilal. Now he has a win over Bilal. So basically, Usman has beat almost every single one in the welterweight division who was a contender. So there's kind of no point of him even fighting anymore. And we all knew Usman's ego. Back then, he wanted to go box Canelo. So I would scrap the main event being for the welterweight championship. And I'll actually still keep Kobe in the main event, but I put Kobe versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. So that would have been the main event of UFC 296. And I do believe, just with Kobe's performance that night, we all know Kobe did horrendous. That was probably one of the worst Kobe competitions we've ever seen. So I would say Shavkat Rakhmonov dominates and wins at UFC 296 that night. So basically, just keeping the timeline intact, that's how 2020, going from 2022 to 2023 would have been, just for the welterweight division. So now, just going back in time, I'm going to go back in time, but now I'm going to be focusing on the middleweight division. As we all know, in UFC 281, Alex Pereira did beat Izzy in the fifth round to gain the middleweight championship. Then we know in UFC 287, Izzy beat Alex back by knocking him out cold and finally getting that redemption. And we all know in UFC 293, Sean Strickland did beat Izzy. So you must be wondering why I'm bringing this up. Before I really explain myself, I have to talk about Alexander the Great Volkanovski. We all know Alexander as the GOAT of the featherweight division. We do know that Alexander Volkanovski has beat almost everybody. And we do know Alexander, there was not basically nothing left for him in the featherweight division. So we all know he moved up to lightweight to fight Islam Makhachev. Although he did come up short twice, it was still, he still had a good run. He still tried his best. And I believe this is something Usman would actually do. I believe Usman would have actually gone up to middleweight to fight for the middleweight championship, to become a double champ. I don't think Usman will go up against Alex. And also, in the past, he says he doesn't want to go up against Izzy because that's his friend. But obviously, we know at UFC 293, Sean did beat Israel Adesanya. And a lot of people might not know this, but Usman actually does have a win over Sean Strickland. For those who don't know, they have fought in the past, and Usman has beat Sean Strickland. So I do believe at this time, Usman would have actually gone up a division to fight for the middleweight championship, which is not which is not even far of a stretch because currently Usman is in the middleweight division. He's already had a match with Hamzat, which was clearly the biggest draw I've ever seen in my life. I do not know how Hamzat won that fight. He clearly took round one, round two, and round three was pretty much a tie, and I believe it should have been a 5 round fight because I feel like towards the end of the round Usman was trying to pick up the pace and get more comfortable. It was like on short notice. So I do believe Usman would have actually gone up to the middleweight division to fight Sean Strickland for the middleweight title, and that would have been Sean Strickland versus Usman 2. So instead of Drake Duplessis and Sean Strickland fighting for the middleweight championship at January, I would have believed it would have been Usman versus Sean Strickland for the middleweight championship in the beginning of this year. So that's basically what my timeline would have been if Usman never got head kicked by Leon Edwards. So who do you think would have won? Do you think Usman would have beat Sean Strickland in a rematch? Do you think Sean Strickland would have been Usman? Do you think Usman would currently be a double champ? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if that timeline makes sense to you. Let me know what kind of timeline would you have for Usman if he never got head kicked by Leon. Thank you so much for watching this video and have a great day.